little bit.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very, very happy episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast, PubChat. Looks like you two are pretty happy today. We're going to do the review show of the Liverpool Rangers Champions League game. And we'll also do a review of the Liverpool Arsenal game that's coming up this Sunday. But lads, you look pretty well chuffed today. Good result, yeah, 2-0. Yeah, much improved play today. The Brighton 3-3 didn't left a sour taste in our mouths, and we just needed a win, didn't we?
Extremely happy with the result. We needed that. We got the clean sheet as well, which is always good for confidence. I'm glad that Jurgen changed it up a bit formation-wise, because we don't normally do that. It made a difference. I think it also protected and helped Trent to give him more of a fixed position and not necessarily the freedom that he's had this season. So I thought it helped. I thought we were a solid good. I didn't think we were fantastic. I didn't think we were great, but at the moment, honestly, a good is good enough.
Yeah.
Glenn, what do you think?
It's funny actually, because we were messaging last night, and I thought you guys were a bit harsh on what you said about Rangers in the podcast, basically just saying that they were shite, basically. And then I said that last night, thinking it was going to be a lot tougher. And I've seen Rangers quite a lot in Europe last year, and I thought they were absolutely shite tonight. Honestly, they were pathetic. We couldn't have asked for a better opposition. They were absolutely shocking. So there's a little bit of Liverpool being really, really good, and then there's a little bit of them being just god awful. I think it could have been 5 or 6, couldn't it? Really?
Oh, easy. They were. You're right.
They offered nothing. They offered absolutely nothing. Like me and Julian were just talking about Kent before he came on. He did nothing against Trent.
He didn't. But do you know what? Right? Do you know what? We might be skipping a bit ahead of you, but so actually it leads into it quite well. So I was actually speaking to my mate. Obviously, there was a formation change, wasn't there? We've been calling sort of for a 4-2-3-1 for a while, sort of changing it. Tonight it wasn't really a 4-2-3-1, it was more like a 4-2-4, wasn't it? Or 4-4-2, or however you want to look at it. Yeah. But because we did do that change, I wonder whether that I wonder if they just didn't expect that at all. Because I'm wondering, from their point of view, they're probably thinking, well, Kent is going to try and get in that space, maybe in behind Trent. And that's sort of that's what we'll try and do, to try and get in behind there if we win the ball. But every time they won the ball, they were hopeless. They were absolutely hopeless. They couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together. I think that's what they were looking to try and do, was to try and get in there. But because our fullbacks sat in a little bit more than they would usually if we were going to, or from the last few games, I wonder whether that's had a little bit of effect on the way that they've attacked.
Maybe. I think it was and you're right, I think it was a very naive and very obvious performance from Rangers. We've seen teams do this where they sit back, right, and they try and soak up the pressure, and then they try and nick a goal. And it felt like one of them. They weren't very good in possession. They barely created. I think Kent maybe had. I think halfway through the first half, it showed the Rangers had 2 shots and goals, and I completely forgot about what they were. I think it was that wild effort from Ryan Kent, but they just weren't very. They just didn't. There was no guts about it, right? You would expect a Liverpool Rangers or an English team against a Scottish team to have a bit more fire in it, a bit more passion, right? And both teams to be really up for it. And we were up for it, but Rangers just kind of accepted that they were going to lose, right? They were extremely poor. really disappointed in them, but happy in them as well. I'm glad they played like that.
Yeah, one thing with Rangers is they're going through like a little weird sort of change as well. Like they've probably lost two of their best players last season.
Yeah.
When you got your man who went to Ajax, Bassi, and then Joe Rebo, who went to Southampton, and he's really good. To be fair, Joe Rebo, he's even been doing well since he's been in Southampton. And then Kamara came on late in the game, so he's probably one of their better players as well. So they've sort of struggled. I mean, obviously in Europe they've not been great. Even in the league when they played Celtic a few weeks ago, they weren't great as well. So I couldn't believe how bad they were, to be honest. But going back to the formation, were you? I mean, I imagine, were you surprised with the team?
Yeah, I was surprised with the forward. You know, the four forwards. I didn't think we would kind of go that brave. I mean, something needed to change after Brighton. I didn't expect that. And yeah, to me, it was more 4-4-2 formation.
Yeah.
You know,
If Firmino, sorry, if Firmino.
No, go ahead.
I hate these zooms. I'm saying, like, if Firmino would have played, I could sort of seen it a bit more because he would drop in a little bit more. But it was quite fluid, wasn't it? Sometimes you see like Nunez popping up on the right wing and things like that. So it was quite fluid, and seeing that the fullbacks not getting as high, and I mean particularly Trent, he was a lot more defensive minded than he would be in any other game that I've seen him this year anyway.
Yeah, he was disciplined, wasn't he? I mean, that was a
discipline's the right word. Yeah,
specific plan, and I wasn't surprised necessarily with the formation. I think it was more having Jota and Nunez start. I was surprised by that. That surprised me. And Jota, I think, was the one out of the front four that maybe struggled the most. He wasn't involved a lot in the game, which is unlike him. Huh?
He got lost in the game.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he did. He'd be the one out of that front four that definitely didn't make an impact on the game, because the rest did. The rest had their moments as well.
I thought Salah was outstanding.
He was very good. And Salah, to be fair, has been very good all season. He's been involved a lot. He hasn't been getting the goals, but he has been involved, definitely. And Salah worked hard tonight. Was very good. Diaz was his usual self. You know, he always gives everything. Diaz was really good. Which brings us to Darwin Nunez. What's your thoughts on how he played tonight?
I thought his general movement and his stuff around the box was actually quite good, and he was getting into these positions. It was just like sometimes when you're in like a game and there's like 5 minutes to go in the game, and then you're getting opportunities and you're just sort of snatching the stuff, and it just feels like he just needed that extra second to pick a spot. I mean, I don't know, I'm not seeing it, but he must have had 3, 4 shots where I'm not saying he should score every single one of them, but like they're pretty much straight at the goalkeeper. And that's one thing I'd say about remember that game. This is a bit random, but remember that game when the States played Belgium about 4 years ago?
Yeah, that
no, but it is. I am going to get to it. So, and like Tim Howard saved like 26 shots, and like the Americans were like, "Oh my God, it was the most in any game." But like 25 of them were like right at him. They were right at him. Like he might have saved like one. One might have been like, or 1 or 2 might have been like class saves. Like same sort of McGregor tonight. He's made maybe 1 or 2 really good saves, but everything else was at him. It was pretty much right at the goal. And that was the same with the Nunez.
You're right with the snatching. I mean, it's the classic: a striker needs a goal and he's snatching, and he's not being precise with his shots. He needs the confidence, and a lot of those efforts that he had. he made good runs, right? Great movement, but you would expect him, based on how well he did last season for Benfica, to finish them, right? And you were right, most of them, if not 3 of the chances, were pretty much straight at the keeper, you know, and you would expect him.
Yeah, there's a lot, to be fair to him,
to finish them.
There's a lot of pressure on him, isn't it? Like, after what happened with the being sent off, and then obviously he's been sent off, and then that was, you know, the only period of the time where there wasn't loads of games. So he had literally like 2.5 weeks to just watch and probably stew on that stupid decision. And then you've also got, you know, Haaland, who's scoring, you know, 10 goals a game. And then you've got this, like, Liverpool in general are on poor form. So that even gives him more, there's even more pressure on him. So you can see how it would get him. I wanted him. I know he come off pretty late. He did come off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Come off,
he came off.
I understand why we brought him on, but I just sort of wanted to keep him on just to get him that goal.
I don't think he was scoring even if he would have stayed on, mate.
Yeah, he might not have. He might not have.
Like
but
he's just trying too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have, but I just thought, well, it could be one of those sort of games where one just goes off his arse, and then that's sort of it. Remember with Crouch? I'm taking out, there's loads of random examples here, but remember when Crouch, when he had like that, he's going like for loads of games, and then he gets that one that basically he just deflects, and it's just like the most spawniest goal ever. I think Nunez could do it.
That was a great moment for Crouch. I remember that, and then everyone was so happy when he's such a great bloke, and then he scored that goal, and then he went on a little run. And
that's what I'm saying.
He was good for us, Crouch. He should have started that Champions League final. It still pisses me
here we
off.
go. Now we're going back. Now we're going back to 2007.
He should have. He should have started that. But
anyway.
No,
I think with Nunez, I think it's sort of getting to that now where he has had chances, and obviously he's not a bigger run that Crouch has been on, but
yeah.
I feel like if he does score, he'll probably go on a little run.
And it is early days, right? I mean, it is early days for him, but I am on the fence with the guy at the moment. I am concerned. I'm not sure. We spent a lot of money with him, and it's hard. It's hard at this level to have. You don't get much time. You know, you really don't get much time to.
Yeah, but he is
to
one
be
for
that
you.
player. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's early days, but
he's one for you.
I don't know.
This is his third start. I think someone said that. I feel like that's made up just because I feel like the season's, you know, surely that can't be right. But I think this is his third start. I think it might be.
What are the other games he started?
He would have started. He started. No, he never started for me. Come on, for him. He started Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
He started obviously tonight, and then he started. I don't know.
It sounds about right. I wouldn't surprise me if that's correct.
He started the derby.
Yeah, he did start the derby.
He did start the derby, and then anything else, I don't think he started. I mean, he was out for 3 games, wasn't he? He was out for 3. So my point is there as well. He's not played 2 games back to back, or even he's not played 2 or 3 games. So, you know, for me, he has to play for Arsenal, and he has to play at Rangers. And
you think he'll start against Arsenal?
Yeah, just for that thing of we've got to sort of play him into.
Bobby will.
Might do, but he might do that. He might do the same thing against Arsenal. He might do this 4-2-4.
I'd love the 4-4-2 with Firmino and Nunez up front.
Take
Jota out. I'd love to see that, but I don't think I would be surprised that he would just start Thiago and either Fabinho and Henderson in midfield, just those 2. But maybe I would love to see that, honestly. But
he won't do that. He won't.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he has to. I think he could easily do Thiago and Fabinho on the weekend, and then, you know, Henderson could be a sub 60 minutes, similar to what it was tonight.
Maybe, yeah.
Arsenal.
Well, let's get back to the Rangers game, because we're veering into like lineups for the Arsenal game. So, Trent, what a free kick. I mean, the free kick he did against Brighton, I thought that was going in as well, and that would have been a bit of justification. But then, I knew as soon as he hit it today, it was going in. McGregor, not even a fingertip to that ball. And I actually thought the referee was going to mess him up because the referee was backing up while he was about to take it. But it was hit so sweetly. And, great celebration. Looked like he had his head under Hendo's armpit, maybe a little sniffle here and there. But yeah, I mean, he's gotten loads of shit in the past couple of weeks, and I really do like what he said in the post-match, that he takes no notice of any of that. And he just smiles and puts his head down and just gets on with it. He says, it is what it is.
Do you know what, though? I know I agree with what you said, but there's absolutely no doubt about it that some of this criticism has got to him. There's no doubt about it. You can't, I don't know how you can avoid it. I don't know how you can avoid the criticism. And then obviously the World Cup nonsense, the shite with England and all that. I mean, he's 23. It will have affected him. I think it has affected him in a few of his performances. I mean, loads of it is absolute bollocks. It really is. He's had a few poor games, but so has Van Dijk, so has Fabinho, so's loads of them. Let's be fair, absolutely loads of them have. So it was great that he scored, and then it's funny, isn't it? Because if he would have scored that winner against Brighton the other day, nobody would have been going on about him. So it was great. It was great that they both scored. Actually, it was great that both Trent and Salah scored, because I feel like I've not seen the main man score for ages. Saying that, though, I've played for freaking ages only. But
you're
they
right.
played against Brighton. What I mean,
yeah,
in general.
You just knew, and I think I said it in the part, but I just knew he was going to score. It just felt, it was like the perfect position. It was the perfect moment. And I think I had my arms raised the moment he kicked it. I knew it was going in. It was a brilliant free kick. But you could see the reaction of the players. And then when he got subbed for Gomez, like the last minute of the game, and I think it was Henderson or someone kind of hugs him. I mean, that's a sure sign. You know that Trent, a 23-year-old, it's definitely affected him. Right? There's no way it can't affect him, but that's what you do, right? How you get over the critics is you put in a really good performance and to seal it with a fantastic free kick.
Well, it was class of Klopp to do what he did.
Yeah, it was.
He didn't have to really sub him, but he did. Trent could get the recognition from the fans. That's like putting another arm around Trent. And going, it's all right. We've got you back.
Yeah. Well, and then the other, and it's funny, right? Because the two England players, or the two players that play in the English league that are English, that the best assists record, Trent over the past year, 2 years, are Trent and Maddison. And Maddison did the same thing for Leicester last night. He scored an amazing free kick, right? And he's one that he should be going to the World Cup, probably won't. And then Trent does exactly the same. And England, not to go on to the England thing, but England lack quality in creating chances, and it looks like they're not going to take their two most creative players, which is ridiculous. But well done, Trent. Played well. Great free kick. On to Salah. Did you notice on the penalty? Did you see what Henderson did?
No.
He did. Now this must be something that's been worked on the training pitch. He did exactly the same run up behind Salah. Which obviously confuses the keeper. But if you watch the replay of that goal, Henderson does that kind of run that Salah does in out and then
I feel like I've seen this before.
Milner's done exactly the same thing as well.
Just to put that is insane, isn't it? If that's the level of detail that goes into it,
love it. Yeah.
Well, Hendo always shields the penalty taker as well. Have you noticed?
Yeah, he's done that.
When the opposing players come, he just pushes them all away. I thought Hendo had a boss game today as well. I really do. You know, it was good that Fabinho was out. He obviously needs a rest. I thought Hendo played really well, and that ball over the top to who was it? Absolutely spot on. You know, another day. It was to Nunez, right?
It was Nunez in his first touch.
Another day. You know, Nunez would have put that in the back of the net, but I thought he was class today. Thiago, to me, was a little sleeper. He didn't do like anything spectacular. He was just Thiago, like he was the glue.
He had a couple of moments where I think it was start of the second half where he gave it away a couple of times really, really cheaply. Just not Thiago, like, but I don't know.
But they were set up differently, weren't they? Henderson and Thiago were set up a little differently, a little bit deeper, and they weren't looking for those long passes because the fullbacks were sitting back a lot more, so they were playing a lot more kind of into either Jota, Nunez, and Salah and Diaz. They weren't. Thiago wasn't, I think, able to play his normal sensational 60-yard passes, but they both had really good games. They were both solid. So both played well.
Who's your man of the match then? If we can move on, so we can move on to Arsenal. Who would you say is man of the match?
That's tough.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
Everyone's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't know if anyone. I don't know. Daz, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it Trent. Sure. I mean, he had a good game, and then cap it off with one hell of a free kick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's between him and Mo, but I'd give it Trent.
Okay. Glenn?
Yeah, it's hard. I've asked the question. Not Costas anyway. He does my head in. I'm always fucking minded about Costas, honestly. On some of these fucking. By the way, just to have a little rant. Some of these dickheads going, oh, maybe we give Calvin Ramsey a go. Give Trent a fucking knobheads. I would probably just say Trent. Yeah, I'd probably just say Trent. I it's a hard one, that, isn't it? Oh, we asked the hard questions.
I'll give it to Calvin. I'll give it to Calvin Ramsey. I thought he did really well on the bench today, and gutted he didn't come on. So Calvin Ramsey, well done, man of the match from me. Good job.
So, what about these Cockneys then? What we saying?
Mate, I want to shove it down their gobs. I'm sick of their frigging. If you go online, it's just.
Oh, here we go.
Here he goes. He's going on Twitter again.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
hold on, Julian. Where? Let's go back a second though. Where are you getting all this thing from Ramsey? People wanting Ramsey to come on. You must.
That was from Glenn.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Listen, Julian. Though.
Yeah.
You must have got that from the internet.
Well,
Glenn.
Sounds like a 7-year-old man.
On the spot.
No, I've got no real big thing with. I've got no big massive thing with Arsenal. I don't really have a massive thing about them. They're just a little bit irrelevant to us. I think. I think they've started well, but I honestly, I don't think they will. They'll continue what they're doing. It might come back to bite me in the bum. But
do they have a point of being cocky? Because I don't think they do.
Are they being? How are they being cocky? I don't see them being cocky. So, are they?
Yeah, but Darren only goes on Bellend. Darren only follows Bellends on Twitter. So, like, you know how me and you might just be like, oh God, I'm not getting entertained with that. Darren's like, oh, Bellends. Oh, I'm going over there.
I mean,
I want to listen.
I mean, they're top of the league, and they're ahead of Man City and Haaland, who scored like 1,000 goals this season. If any team can be cocky and supporters can be cocky, it can be freaking Arsenal at the moment because they're playing really, really well.
Well, they've got that good feeling back, haven't they, at the Emirates?
Yeah. Do you know who they remind me of? They remind me a little bit of us when we had Rodgers that sort of time. You know, like Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Smith Rowe. They've got all these like really exciting young players when we had like Coutinho and Henderson and Sterling.
Young players.
But that, like, no, but seriously, like, well, like, let's be fair. When we before Rodgers, it was pretty grim. The back end of Benitez. I know, obviously, we won. When Dakby's first game in, it was quite good, but in the league, it was dire. Rodgers, let's not even talk about. We didn't really have very exciting players at that time. Like, we might have one or two, the odd one. But then when Rodgers came in, you had all these really exciting players. You know, Sterling, like the players that just named basically. Players that could beat players, and I sort of see a little similarities with Arsenal. I'm not saying Jesus is like as Suarez, obviously not. He's nowhere near that. But do you know what I mean? Like, they've got all these little young players, and now they've got like a focal point, decent number 9.
He definitely, Arteta has definitely built good spirit and unity at that club, and it's taken a while. It's taken like a few, 3 years or whatever. But I mean, that Arsenal were a mess, and they had a bunch of players that were overpaid, that didn't care about the club, that he had to get rid of. I mean, he obviously had Ozil was one of the biggest ones, and then David Luiz came in, which was a stupid signing, and then they had that French sideshow Bob player who played in midfield who needed to go as well. Glenn Cooley, or whatever he's called, Glenn Cooley, whatever. But
was I playing Arsenal? Was like,
and then Aubameyang as well. So he had a big
job. They had Willian as well.
Yeah, William, and he's made some. And obviously the youth has come through and done really well, but he's made some good signings as well. And Thomas Partey has started to show why they spent the money on him and why he was such an integral part of Atletico Madrid's team, because he was like first name on their team sheet for years, and he hasn't been very good. But this season he's been outstanding. So it's a big test. It's a big game for both clubs this season. It's a big game for Arsenal. It's huge to show where they're at. Are they a team that's going to do well against everyone apart from the top 4, and then they're going to struggle against the top tier teams? And then for us, can we take the momentum of how well we played against Rangers today and go to the Emirates and put on another really good performance? It's an intriguing game. It really is.
Well, there's some really good matchups. Martinelli versus Trent and Saka versus Tsimikas or Robbo.
Yeah,
Robbo's had Saka's number the last couple of times we've played Arsenal, so it's interesting. And the rebirth basically of Xhaka as well. He always plays more forward for Switzerland, and now he's playing more forward for Arsenal, and it's kind of reinvented himself because he is playing better.
Xhaka was brilliant against Spurs at the weekend, as was Saka as well. The Xhaka and Saka were both very good.
It's like the Muppet Show.
It is like the Muppet Show, but
it is big. It is a big game for them because they're going to sort of be in that position where they, like, every time we played them, like in the last couple of years. I mean, last year I think we must have scored about 10 goals over the 3 or 4 games we played them. Every time we seem to play them, we just seem to stuff them. They're gonna for them to beat us psychologically, that'll be absolutely massive for them. I don't think they're gonna challenge the league or anything like that. But if they can beat us now at this stage and put like a 14, I think if they beat us, it's a 14-point gap.
I think they're certainly in contention for the top 3. I think there's definitely a chance. I think title is. I mean, I'd be shocked if it's not Man City, like everyone else would be. And I think it's a battle for them next 3 positions. But on Arsenal, I think the centre back, the French centre back, Saliba, has been outstanding, and they've been waiting for him for he's been at the club for a couple of years, but he's been out on loan, and he's seen as one of the main French centre backs. He's already started for them a number of times, but we know it with us, right? That having a top quality centre back is massive, and Arsenal have not had one in a while. This guy could be the real deal, and it's no coincidence that it affects the entire team going forward. If you have a solid keeper, but then you have a really good centre back in front of you, it makes a massive difference. And I don't think Gabriel is great. I think he's all right, but I think Saliba is like a proper, like world-class potential defender.
Mm-hmm. Well, bringing Zinchenko in as well is really
good player.
Solidify that back line, because again, you, when you think of Arsenal, you think of like they had issues in midfield last season a little bit, and in the back four as well. But Arteta has brought well, and he's brought players through as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. But you know, Glenn, like you're saying, for them, this is huge. You know, it would open up a 14-point gap, but also huge for us, because if we do beat Arsenal, that's a massive confidence boost for us going into, you know, another big week of Rangers City.
Yeah, we've not won. This will be our first time this whole year that we've won 2 games back to back. If we can beat Arsenal, which, considering we played 11 games or 10 games or whatever it is, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's insane, isn't it, when you think about it like that? But yeah, no, we need to. I mean, I think these next 3 games, may pretty much define our season in some ways, don't they? I mean, if you can beat Rangers, you would think that Liverpool will be fine, and you probably need 1 point at the next 2 games after that. If you can beat City and Arsenal, then you can. I think you can say, okay, well, there might be a chance of potentially, I don't know, this might be thinking, but you might have a chance of maybe going on and challenging for the league. If you get beat by one of Arsenal or City, then I think you're pretty much, you're looking for, it's a top 4 thing, isn't it? So it's a massive week. It is an absolutely huge week. I can't think of a week so big this early in the season.
Yeah, neither can I. What's your starting 11?
He's got a big decision here, and I'm sure this has already been decided before the week started. You know, we just got a solid result, 2-0, clean sheet, yet we changed the formation into something that we haven't played all season. So what does he do? Do we go back to the formation that hasn't worked this season, or do we keep the same as what did well against a very poor Rangers team, but keep this formation against a very good Arsenal team? This one's really hard. Really hard to say, except for I think the back 4 will probably be, or the back 5 with the goalkeeper will probably be exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Maybe Robertson for the Greek if he's fit. I think it's easier to pick the certain starters from that point than the team, which you would think Fabinho's going to start after not starting tonight. You would think Thiago's going to start. Salah's going to start. And Diaz. So that essentially leaves 2 players that I think is up for debate of who's going to start.
2 out of the 3, probably. I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to. Yeah, you're essentially who's going to be the third midfielder. If he's going to do a 4-3-3, then who's going to be the third midfielder, and then who's going to be the striker up front? Who's going to do that? I think he'll go 4-3. I'd be surprised if we went.
I think you'll do the same.
Again.
I think you'll do the same. And one of the reasons why I do is during the game today, I can't remember what the first subs were now, but the first subs that he made were like for like. It was a midfield change. I think it was Fabinho for Henderson, and then I can't remember who the forward was. I think it was Firmino for Jota. I think, yeah. So the fact that he did that at that point, like, he could have easily brought on another midfielder and sort of just, kept the game ticking over. So I don't know. It might be that could be bollocks.
But
I think you need to do it.
On that, you bring up something as well that because I would love to see the 4-4-2 with, and maybe he's thinking about the weekend with Firmino up with Nunez. You know, there is that potential, which I think suit both of those players really well. So
you're thinking Hendo on the bench then?
Yeah, I think so. I think. I mean, at the minute, I mean, he's probably looking at his midfield and thinking, well, if I can do 2 for 3, if I can, you know, and maybe when it comes to Rangers,
excuse me,
maybe when it comes to Rangers, it's Henderson and
yeah,
Fabinho maybe, and then that's where Thiago gets his rest, and then he comes on 60 minutes. I'll tell you who I wouldn't mind. I mean, we're getting well ahead here, but I wouldn't like, because we're getting so many games going on now. I love Diaz. I mean, don't get me wrong, the situation was shite, but Diaz coming on the other day from the bench, we've not really had that as an option this year, have we?
No.
We've not had the option of him coming on from the bench. And last year, when he obviously when having money there, with him coming off from the bench, he looked electrifying, didn't he? So I think having him as an option in the odd game, I'm not saying for Arsenal because I'd start him against Arsenal, but having him as an option coming on from the bench as well, and you've got tired legs, is a really positive thing too.
Yeah, it is.
Score predictions, not from me.
Oh, hell.
But you know what's that funny? Hey, do you know what's that funny? Sorry, cut in, Julian, right?
Yeah.
1 second. Because I've been saying 2-0, right? I've been saying 2-0 for so many of the last games. And I didn't say it tonight. I didn't say it because I wasn't on the last one. Fucking typical, that, isn't it? I'll go Liverpool to win 2-1.
Good lads.
Darwin Nunez to score in the 97th minute with his top off.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
No, I'd be fine if he scores the goal and then he does like a little celebration, like yes, and then runs back. I don't need the dramatic like stuff. Come on, you've done that. Let's move on.
If he scores against Arsenal, he could take his top off and like do whatever he wants.
It's Arsenal. If it's against City the week after, I'll have it. All right, score. So this one is impossible to call. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Liverpool.
Love it.
Copied me there, right?
Yeah. I think a 2-1. Although this is one. I mean this is hard until when you see the team sheet. I don't know. Who knows what he's going to do? You could play 4-3-3, 4-2-1-3, 4-2-3-1. He could play 4-4. I don't know. 2-1 Liverpool.
So he's copied me. He's copied me on the score. And he's shit out of saying who the man of the match is because he can't pick one.
I can't pick a man of the match. Trent did all right, but he had nothing to do defensively. But he scored a great free kick. Good for him. Salah did really well. I think.
I'm only match. I don't need to go back into it, right?
Everyone was solid. It was good. But anyway, 2-1 Liverpool against Arsenal.
I like it.
That's what I'm going to say.
I do. I like it because not many people are giving us a chance at all.
Who? Twitter again?
Are you going on Arsenal Twitter, aren't you?
No, I would never go on Arsenal Twitter. Sorry, no, thanks.
Who's not giving us a chance?
I need to know this. Come on.
Just go on Liverpool pods.
Oh God,
that's all you need to do. Just go on Liverpool.
You don't need to be on any Liverpool pods, Darren. You just need to be on this pod, and you need to like and subscribe for this pod, and that's it. Because this is where you get all the positive energy from.
Glenn, I've already liked and subscribed this podcast.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah,
and you know what? We'll do one from the pub as well. We'll do one for the Arsenal game, and we'll get some of the people that go to the pub. We'll get them on the pod for the next one as well. So it'll be a little bit different and better than a Zoom as well. So we'll do that.
Yeah, that'll be much better as well. You're in the thick of things. You'll see Nunez taking his top off, and we'll see Julian's match reaction. But bring on the Gooners. bring on Rangers and then bring on City, and we'll see where we're at. But like Glenn said, please like and subscribe. Appreciate your listening, and we'll see you next time.